Humans are, without question, the most baffling species in the known galaxy, Zrax'ell dictated into his bio-neural recorder, flicking his antennae in frustration. Day 87 of Earth observation, and I'm still no closer to understanding their fundamental psychology. From the observation dome of Lunar Outpost Epsilon 9, Earth hung like a blue marble against the vast emptiness of space. Zrax'ell adjusted the quantum scope, zooming in on a small woodland region in what humans called North America. The team continues to record behaviors that defy evolutionary logic, he continued, mandibles clicking with each syllable. On our home world of Kalathor, predators are respected from a distance of at least 3 planetary units. Our entire civilization developed around avoiding creatures with more teeth than brain cells. It's just common sense. Behind him, senior researcher Kalathor snorted. Common sense? Humans wouldn't recognize common sense if it bit them on their bizarre, fleshy posteriors. Precisely my point, Zrax'ell replied, tapping his claws on the console. Our species spent 10 millennia developing technology to avoid predators. Humans? They live with them, voluntarily. The research team had been monitoring Earth for nearly 3 cycles now. Their mission was simple: assess humanity's potential for galactic citizenship. But every observation only raised more questions than answers. Perhaps, offered junior analyst Pax Luma from her workstation, their unusual relationship with predators explains their rapid technological advancement. No need to develop safety measures when you're already buddies with the most dangerous creatures on your planet. Zrax'ell sighed, all 4 of his eyes blinking in sequence. Update the Xenobiology Report. Section 47, Human Incomprehensibility. Make a note, we need more observers. And possibly psychiatric evaluation for the current team. These humans are making us question our own sanity. The observation team huddled around the main view screen, their exoskeletons practically rattling with excitement. Today marked their first ground-level surveillance operation, with microscopic nano-drones deployed to observe humans in their natural habitat. Recording initiated, announced Pax Luma, her voice unusually high-pitched. Subject designation, Jackson Reed, human male, approximately 32 Earth rotations old. Location, wilderness area designated Cascadian Forest. Zrax'ell leaned forward, all 4 eyes widening as the footage streamed in. The human male was hiking alone, carrying what their database identified as camping supplies, though why any sentient being would voluntarily sleep outdoors remained a mystery. Subject appears to be following standard human recreation patterns, Kalathor noted, logging the observation. Nothing abnormal yet. That's when they heard it, a low, mournful howl that sent instinctive shivers through the entire research team. Predator alert, gasped Pax Luma, Canis lupus, Earth wolf, dangerous pack hunter with bone-crushing jaw strength. The team watched in growing horror as Jackson Reed didn't flee or hide. Instead, he altered course, moving toward the sound. Is he malfunctioning? Zrax'ell whispered. Some sort of brain parasite, perhaps? The nano-drones followed as Jackson approached a clearing where a large gray wolf lay on its side, a deep gash visible on its hind leg, likely from territorial combat. By the 7 moons of Kalathor, breathed Kalathor. He's approaching an injured predator. Everyone knows injured predators are the most dangerous. Emergency protocol, shouted Pax Luma. We must warn him. Negative, Zrax'ell countered. Non-interference directive. We observe only. The team watched in stunned silence as Jackson slowly approached the wolf, speaking in soft tones. The human removed items from his pack, medical supplies, their database helpfully identified. He's going to touch it, Kalathor said in disbelief. Does he have a death wish? Quick, update the human psychological profile, Zrax'ell ordered. Add notes on apparent suicidal tendencies and complete absence of survival instinct. Wait, Pax Luma interrupted. The predator isn't attacking. It's just lying there. This defies everything we know about predator-prey dynamics. Humans, Zrax'ell muttered darkly. They break every natural law in the universe. Jackson approached the injured wolf with methodical caution, his movements deliberately slow and non-threatening. The nano-drones captured every detail as he knelt several feet away, softly speaking words the alien's translation matrix identified as reassurances. Is he negotiating with the predator? Talvora asked incredulously, attempting diplomatic relations with something that considers him a walking snack. On screen, Jackson carefully removed supplies from his backpack, antiseptic, bandages, and what their database identified as meat jerky. He tossed a piece toward the wolf, which sniffed it suspiciously before consuming it. Unbelievable, Zrax'ell exclaimed, mandibles clicking rapidly in agitation. He's feeding it. The absolute madness. That's like us giving navigation coordinates to space pirates. The team watched as Jackson inched closer, still talking to the wolf in a soothing tone. The predator's ears flattened momentarily but then relaxed as it accepted another piece of jerky. Theory, announced Pax Luma, frantically inputting data. Humans secrete undetectable pheromones that temporarily paralyze predator brain functions. Counter theory, Talvora interjected. Telepathic mind control. Look how he maintains eye contact. That's clearly the transmission mechanism. The observation team fell silent as Jackson finally reached the wolf and with what could only be described as suicidal confidence began examining its wounded leg. The wolf growled once but remained surprisingly docile as he cleaned the wound with antiseptic. Perhaps, suggested junior analyst Zrax'ell, speaking for the first time, the human is demonstrating dominance behavior, asserting himself as the superior predator. Absurd, Zrax'ell dismissed. No species willingly approaches apex predators to whatever this is. Jackson had now wrapped the wolf's leg in bandages and was the aliens collectively gasped stroking its fur. The wolf's tail moved slightly, in what their database labeled a non-aggressive manner. Maybe he's harvesting the fur? Talvora suggested desperately. Or collecting biological samples. For what possible scientific purpose would one pet a predator? Zrax'ell countered. Pax Luma suddenly straightened all 6 appendages. I have it. This must be some ancient human ritual, a demonstration of courage to attract potential mates. That actually makes sense, Zrax'ell admitted. Risk-taking behavior to demonstrate genetic fitness. But the level of risk is astronomical. On screen, Jackson finished treating the wolf and backed away slowly. Instead of immediately attacking or fleeing, the wolf simply watched him, then attempted to stand, testing its newly bandaged leg. Update the report, Zrax'ell said weakly. File under humans, even crazier than previously documented. And add a footnote, potentially possess mystical predator taming abilities. The Lunar Outpost's conference room buzzed with agitated alien scientists, holographic displays showing footage of Jackson's wolf encounter from multiple angles. At the head of the table sat Dr. Kalathor, the expedition's senior xenopsychologist, his 8-fingered hands steepled under his chin skeptically. The evidence is clear, Zrax'ell declared, pointing at the data streams. In the 14 Earth days since our initial observation, we've documented 17 separate instances of humans interacting with predators in non-food chain-approved ways. Pax Luma enthusiastically projected her findings. Exhibit A, humans inserting small predators into their dwellings. Exhibit B, humans attaching leashes to medium predators and walking them. Exhibit C, humans allowing juvenile predators to climb on their sleeping bodies. Preposterous. Dr. Kalathor's voice boomed through the room, silencing the chatter. I've studied 15 sentient species across our galactic arm, and none develop symbiotic relationships with apex predators. The only logical conclusion is mind control. Perhaps, ventured Zrax'ell timidly, humans emit some undocumented biochemical that renders predators docile? Then explain this, countered Talvora, displaying footage of a human female sleeping with a creature their database identified as a domestic cat on her head. Why would any self-respecting predator allow itself to be used as a pillow? Clearly, offered another scientist, humans genetically modified these organisms to remove aggressive tendencies. For what purpose? Asked Zrax'ell. Entertainment? Religious practice? Mating rituals? Came the uncertain reply. Dr. Kalathor slammed all 4 appendages on the table. You're all missing the obvious answer. Humans must possess psionic abilities. Nothing else explains their unnatural dominion over creatures designed by evolution to eat them. The room erupted in scientific squabbling, with competing hypotheses growing increasingly outlandish. One junior researcher suggested humans might actually be descended from predators themselves. Another proposed they secreted predator-confusing hormones through their sweat glands. Enough. Zrax'ell shouted. We need more data. Our observations have yielded 23 documented cases of human-predator relationships, but no clear explanation. Perhaps he hesitated. We need direct contact. Dr. Kalathor's eye stalks shot up in alarm. Are you suggesting we reveal ourselves to a species that casually cuddles with killers? That's madness. Science demands sacrifice, Zrax'ell replied gravely. Besides, I'm particularly curious about the small predator they call Puppy. For purely research purposes, of course. Tracking Jackson Reed to his dwelling required bending several galactic non-interference protocols, but as Zrax'ell repeatedly assured the Ethics Committee, scientific necessity overrides bureaucratic concerns. The team deployed their most advanced cloaking technology as they approached the human's isolated cabin. Preliminary bioscans indicate multiple life forms inside, whispered Talvora, her exoskeleton practically vibrating with anxiety. Yes, at least 6 distinct signatures, but only one registers as human. 6 predators? Gasped Pax Luma. This isn't a dwelling, it's a death trap. Dr. Kalathor activated his personal force field. Remember, no direct contact. We observe only. And if the human exhibits any mind control behaviors, activate your psionic dampening shields. The team cautiously approached a window, peering inside to witness a scene that defied all rational explanation. Jackson Reed was sprawled on a couch, reading a book, while a wolf, possibly the same one he'd rescued, dozed at his feet. A small feline predator occupied his lap, and 2 canines of different sizes snoozed nearby. In a corner terrarium, something scaly moved. By the cosmic void, breathed Zrax'ell. He's created a predator collection, a living museum of death dealers. This confirms my mind control hypothesis, hissed Dr. Kalathor. No being could survive this concentration of carnivores without supernatural abilities. At that precise moment, one of the canines, the smaller one with floppy appendages their database identified as ears, suddenly perked up, looking directly at the window. It emitted a high-pitched series of vocalizations. We've been detected, shrieked Pax Luma, accidentally disengaging her cloaking device in panic. Emergency evacuation protocol. In the ensuing chaos, all 4 aliens simultaneously attempted to retreat, resulting in a tangle of limbs and equipment. The commotion caused their collective cloaking technology to fail spectacularly, with a small but noticeable electromagnetic pulse that shattered the window. Jackson looked up from his book, blinked twice at the pile of alien researchers now clearly visible on his porch, and simply said, wasn't expecting company tonight. The aliens froze in terror, expecting either mind control or immediate death. Instead, Jackson carefully moved the cat from his lap, stood up, and opened the front door. You guys okay out there? That was quite a tumble. Dr. Kalathor activated his universal translator with trembling appendages. Human, we come in peace. Please do not unleash your predator army upon us. Jackson looked genuinely confused. My what now? Zrax'ell pointed frantically at the wolf, which had raised its head but otherwise hadn't moved. "You're killing machines. Your death squad." "Oh, you mean my pets?" Jackson chuckled. "They wouldn't hurt a fly." "Well, except for Mittens, she's a murder machine with the local bird population. But she's just being a cat." The wolf chose that moment to yawn widely, displaying rows of gleaming teeth. All 4 aliens simultaneously fainted. When the aliens regained consciousness, they found themselves arranged carefully on Jackson's living room furniture. The human was brewing something in the kitchen, while his pets observed the extraterrestrial visitors with mild curiosity. "So," Jackson began, carrying in mugs of steaming liquid, "you folks have been watching me, huh? That explains the weird feeling I've had the past few weeks. Thought I was just getting paranoid living out here alone." He paused. "Well, not alone, obviously." Zrax'ell, designated spokesperson due to his superior translation capabilities, tried to appear dignified despite having fainted moments earlier. "We are a scientific expedition studying Earth species. Your cohabitation behaviors have proven most perplexing." Jackson handed each alien a mug. "It's just hot chocolate. Nothing weird in it, promise." Dr. Kalathor eyed the liquid suspiciously. "Why do you live with these predators? Are they hostages? Experimental subjects? Unwilling participants in some bizarre human ritual?" "They're family," Jackson replied simply. This triggered an urgent 4-way alien discussion in their native tongue, involving much mandible clicking and antenna waving. "I don't understand the concept of family as applied to different species," Zrax'ell finally admitted. Jackson scratched the wolf's ears, causing it to make a contented sound. "Luna here was injured by poachers. I found her, patched her up, and she just decided to stay. Same with most of the others. They were hurt or abandoned, needed help." "But they're dangerous," Pax Luma exclaimed. "Sometimes," Jackson acknowledged, "but mostly they're just looking for safety, food, and affection. Not so different from most beings, I imagine." He proceeded to introduce each animal: Luna the wolf, Max and Cooper the dogs, Mittens the cat, and Sylvester the bearded dragon. "You're saying these relationships are voluntary?" Dr. Kalathor asked incredulously. "Without mind control?" "We call it domestication," Jackson explained. "It's a partnership that's evolved over thousands of years. They provide companionship, we provide care." Companionship. Talvora sounded out the unfamiliar concept. "A mutually beneficial non-reproductive partnership between different species." "Exactly." Jackson smiled. "Want to try petting one?" Mittens is friendly mostly. The small feline predator approached Dr. Kalathor, who nearly levitated off the couch in terror. "Just gently stroke her fur," Jackson encouraged. "Like this." With trembling appendages, Dr. Kalathor tentatively touched the cat's back. Mittens immediately began producing a rhythmic vibration. "It's activating some kind of sonic weapon," he shrieked. He shrieked. "That's purring," Jackson laughed. "It means she likes you." As the vibration continued, Dr. Kalathor's expression shifted from terror to wonder. "It's pleasant. This sensation is not unpleasant at all." "Pretty amazing, isn't it?" Jackson said quietly. "Different species, different worlds even, and we can still connect." Dr. Kalathor, renowned skeptic and predator-phobe, was now cradling Mittens against his exoskeleton, eye stalks softening with emotion. I think I understand humans a little better now." And in conclusion, Zrax'ell stated formally, addressing the Galactic Science Council via quantum transmission, "Our expedition has discovered that humans have evolved a unique symbiotic relationship with species that would, on any rational planet, be classified as extreme biological hazards." The council members' expressions ranged from disbelief to outright suspicion of hallucinogenic fungal exposure. "You expect us to believe," the Grand Counselor sputtered, all 3 mouth parts working overtime, that humans voluntarily share their dwellings with carnivorous predators for emotional satisfaction. Affirmative. Zrax'ell confirmed. They call it pet ownership, though our research indicates the ownership aspect is often questionable. In many cases, the predators appear to be in charge. And these predators don't eat them? Another counselor asked. Rarely, Talvora chimed in from beside Zrax'ell. Though our subject Jackson did mention something called vet bills that suggested some form of financial predation. Dr. Kalathor stepped forward, uncharacteristically enthusiastic. Counselors, this discovery has profound implications for interspecies relations across the galaxy. If humans can forge emotional bonds with creatures evolutionarily designed to devour them, perhaps our own species could benefit from similar connections. The council chamber erupted in horrified chittering. I've taken the liberty, Zrax'ell continued, ignoring the commotion, of initiating a pilot program. He reached down and lifted a small, fuzzy earth predator into view. This is Ambassador Whiskers, formerly of Jackson Reed's neighbor's feline's offspring. I've been designated her caretaker. The tiny kitten meowed, causing several council members to activate emergency shields. Our research indicates this juvenile predator will eventually develop razor-sharp claws, needle-like teeth, and night vision, Zrax'ell explained proudly. Yet it will also provide what humans call cuddles and purrs. This is madness, the Grand Counselor declared. Next you'll suggest diplomatic relations with the Void Serpents of Nexus 9. Actually, Pax Luma interjected, humans keep smaller versions of those as pets too. They call them snakes. As the council descended into chaos, Zrax'ell gently stroked Ambassador Whiskers, who had fallen asleep in his upper appendage. The tiny predator's rhythmic breathing somehow made the universe seem less terrifying, despite its evolutionary programming to eventually murder everything smaller than itself. Humans, Zrax'ell mused to himself as the council voted to immediately quarantine the research team, are teaching us that sometimes the most dangerous thing in the universe is love. Ambassador Whiskers yawned, displaying miniature fangs that would haunt the Grand Counselor's nightmares for cycles to come.